Okay, so here we go, end of day 2. There wasn't a day 1 video because I forgot to film one. We have all 4 stud walls up, and this is roughly the size that everything's going to be. So a drum mat fits into that space with a bit of space that way, and then at this end as well. So we've got our stud walls with our plasterboard on them. So we will up here. We will screw this one into this one, and then likewise over there, and the same over here and behind me as well. And then you see we've got our joist hangers up there. So once that's all connected together, the joist hangers will go from there all the way to there. Plasterboard will go underneath the a cupboard on the front. So that's going to come out to just below the garage, just in front of the garage door here. So there's just enough width to be able to fit a stack of drum kit and some other bits and bobs in the front. So I can have a drum kit in the front, and then I've got my studio, which can be nice and separate from all the junk and mess and stuff. And it also means that I can have one door there and another door, so I can actually have the 2 doors to kind of insulate where the doorways are.
This is a second update. I'm quite further along than from the other video. So you can see we've got the floor in, all of the walls. It's a bit of a mess out here. All on the outside as well. Just need to put the door in. I'm going to start work on putting the cupboard coming this way. So a bit about how this all kind of went together. So last time we had plasterboard on the outsides and then the stud. So now we've obviously put the plasterboard on here. I had these little metal bars. They go screw straight into the stud, and then the plasterboard goes onto this. So in between the little lines of stud, we had this on there, like that, and then at the other end it would obviously be attached to something. They were quite a lot longer than that. They're the length of those walls, so you can see where it's all screwed in, and we've drawn the line there. And then the plasterboard screws straight onto that, and the point of that is just to decouple the plasterboard from the stud, so that any vibrations in the room go into the plasterboard and then the metal railing before it goes into the stud, so the stud isn't vibrating as much. And before putting on the metal bars, we had to cut up the Rockwool, so the Rockwool went in all of the cavities, bars went on, plasterboard goes on the top. We didn't do the bars for the ceiling, so the ceiling you can see there, we just went in on the joists. And the ceiling was quite hard because the plasterboard, this plasterboard, one whole sheet is 36 kilos. So we cut them into threes or sort of quarters and thirds, so that one of us could hold it up while the other one screwed it all in, and that worked fine. It was easy enough putting the Rockwool up as well. So I put this one up first, the far one over there, then the Rockwool went up, and then because it sort of fit nice and snug, it didn't matter that there wasn't anything underneath here. So the Rockwool stayed all up, and then we just put those up afterwards. The plasterboard that you can just see here, it's on the front, we haven't decoupled that. So for the floor, and it's obviously completely boarded up now. So I'll put pictures up as I'm talking about it. It's got some wood. It was actually that timber there, you can see. 47 by 75, because that was the dimensions that would fit nicely into the little isolatory things. That's what they look like. The wood just sits on there, and then you can see one of them in action just down there. So before putting the floor isolators on and cutting the wood, put some rubber matting down first. I had to cut that and make it all fit in shape and all that. Then on top of that goes all the isolators. That's the next layer, and the layer on top of that is the wood cut up into beams to create like joists. And then in the cavities all underneath that, I was able to put insulation. I didn't use the Rockwool, I just used regular roof insulation, just that normal stuff. It's nice and cheap, and I was able to triple over the roof insulation. And then on top of that, some tongue and groove floorboards, chipboard stuff. So that goes on top. We've got the cupboard on the front now, so if you can kind of see the front there. so the studs all up for it. Put the door frame in, we need to put some door stops on. Rockwool is all measured out, ready to go. We're going to put the joists up there, so you've got the joist hangers. We've had to pack out the stud at the top of it to give it a tiny bit more height, but we've been dealing with trying to get everything under this stupid box. Don't ask me why it's there and why it's that massive. So today's job is the plasterboard there, on this front wall here, and behind me there. Put the joists up, plasterboard on the ceiling, and then we'll be done except for the doors. Okay, so front cupboard is finished. As you can see, if I come out here, all the plasterboard on, all the studs up, all the plasterboards on. We've got some carpet down, some underlay, and I've actually got some gear inside. So we've got space for a drum kit stacked up, speakers you can see there, and underneath that pile is a hardware bag as well. And there's space, I can put some shelves up if I wanted to, anything like that. So it was built very much the same as the other one, plasterboard on the ceiling. We had to cut it up, you can see there we've got the cuts from where it's just too heavy to lift it up, so that's gone up. So you can see how close we built up to the garage door. We're right in line with it. You can actually see there, that tiny little nodule there. To kind of maximise the space. So as we were going, I made slight adjustments to my sort of measurements in the build that I had envisaged. So this storeroom is actually a third bigger than it would have been otherwise. So it means I can fit quite a lot more gear in, and it's a lot higher because I thought we were going to have to come under the garage door. And here we are, all finished. So doors mounted, both doors. We come in. I've got drums inside now. I've got a light up there. So we've got the panels on. I'll put a link in the description as to how I did those, because I just copied someone else. There's no point explaining how I did it. Essentially made a wooden frame, spare Rockwool inside, wrap the felt round. But I'll give you the link so that you know how I made the frame. One thing I decided different to the video is I had lots of this left over, so I used this to hook it on in there. So I've got on the wall it pointing upwards and then pointing downwards on the panel. And what it meant is I actually had enough left over that I could put the railing around the entirety of the thing, so I can quite literally move them around depending on where I want them. So drums are in here. I did a sound test earlier just with the snare drum, so here's what that sounds like. I also closed the boot of the car to simulate what it'd be like a little bit if you were in a house over the road, but you couldn't hear the drums at all, so there was kind of no point really. I think that's pretty much it. All nice and done. So as you can see here, got the drums already set up. Here's a video of how it sort of sounds from full kit on the outside. See how loud it is, and then on the inside.